GCUE.
The podcast you have been waiting for.
6 friends, 6 opinions, infinite laughs.
You're watching history in the making.
You don't have to open up your eyes, you can clearly see.
The #1 podcast is GCUE. 20 years of brotherhood. The Q La Familia. Raw, uncut, uncensored, and unfiltered. Bub's opinionated. Why Eddie keep you laughing? Steve will get the tea while Shot tells us all what's happening. Spiritual or natural. I'm here for the thrills. And when it comes to PJ, y'all, please say the real. From quick hits, heavy lifting, the mass to the week. We getting ratings through the roof every time that we speak. PA, VA, GA to the Aspens, turning podcasts into under-table has-been. Sports, entertainment, and current events. Sometimes we get pissed, so the crew got a vent. So when Friday night come, you know just what to do. Sit back, put up your feet, and now rocking with the Q. What's really good, people? It's your boy Bug, straight out the 804. And once again, you are rocking with the Q on the one and only GQ podcast. I got the usual suspects with me, and we're going to go around and get some introductions. But before I do, I must say this. This is GQ, the podcast, not to be affiliated with the magazine or the company. Let's go, Bub. Set it off from the 717.
Hey, welcome. I'm sorry, if it's your first time with us, we welcome you. If it's not, we welcome you back. Either way, sit back and enjoy the show.
We're going to keep it in the 717. We found him, y'all. It ain't Waldo either. It's the real. I said the real, and when you see him in the street, you must say the real or you won't get acknowledged. PJ, let's go.
You know the real is back. The real is back. Actually, I ain't never even leave, but the real is back.
Now we're going to take it down to Mr. Suave Magazine himself. Suave Magazine. Shot, let's go on these topics, Chief.
See, PJ, where you messed up at is you let Eddie be the real PJ for like 2 weeks, and that's dangerous. Bro is feeling himself heavy. But what up, people? We about to have some fun. Got a couple little funny topics, a little serious one as well. But let's just jump straight into it. Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears. I know everybody's kind of heard about this over the last few weeks. They made a video that they said was a PSA with a little kid, like a little boy, basically like in his underwear, and Tiffany played like a mom that she was asking Aries, who was playing her uncle, to watch a little boy. Aries was like a pedophile, basically, just kind of lusting over this little boy while he's playing with his toys. Social media went crazy. The people hate it. Nobody found it funny. Everybody started bashing them. The girl whose younger brother the little boy was, apparently the girl whose younger brother the little boy was, sued Tiffany Haddish for the video. Before suing her, she was kind of soliciting access to parties and viewing parties and other celebrities and dinners and things like that. I think what happened is Tiffany got tired of it. The girl decided she's going to go after her for some money, and recently the lawsuit gets dropped. So all that said, how do y'all feel about this video? Was it funny? Would it have ever been funny? And was this something that misses the mark and might end someone's career?
I'm going to go ahead and set it off. I think it was completely distasteful, because there's no way that you're going to tell me any form of pedophilia is humorous, especially when you use a child. It's nothing to be made light of. It never was. And, you know, working in mental health is sad, because a lot of times these young people have to deal with these traumatizing situations, not just when it happens, but throughout their lifetime. So I'm appalled. I was angry at first, and I think it was really just distasteful, whether it was who they are now or who we know them as now, or whether it was back in the day. And that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, I agree. Pedophilia is never funny, except when I'm watching To Catch a Predator. And I think that show was like unintentional comedy. But at the same time, I think you have that whole sense that there wasn't an actual child involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though it's sick and all that, but, you know, no one was actually harmed. And that, you know, the people that was trying to do the harm were being caught. And I think it was not so much funny that they were, you know, trying to get at little kids, but just the fact that, you know, their whole mindset and them getting caught, that's the funny part of it. But yeah, there's never a time to laugh at that. They know they were wrong, but yeah, there's no excuse for it.
Yeah, I hate the fact that they did it with this sense, because they're trying to say it was a PSA, but like they're also both comedians, so trying to put it under the umbrella of comedy and pushing the envelope, like using a physical child in a state where it's so compromising that it's cringeworthy. I'm just glad that they kind of got exposed for it, because like that's too far to push the envelope. Like, you know, like there was no way that was going to be something acceptable to anybody. Like even this, you know what I mean? Like even if they tried to present to somebody was going to feel like, oh yeah, I'm going to put this out. Like, no, that's unacceptable. But it also goes into the psyche of like, how much attention do you really need and want to try to push the envelope in that way that you'd be willing to, you know, like put a child up there. Like, so I'm glad they got exposed, and you know, this is whatever comes from it. Like if they paid her off, fine. But this should just be a lesson for people. Like, yo, like just leave the pedophilia shit alone. There's never anything good that comes from that.
So what if they? Sorry to cut you off, but what if they weren't trying to make it funny? You think they would have room to do it then? You know what I mean? What if it wasn't trying to be funny, or what if this was an actual movie, and that was part of it? You know what I mean? Is that acceptable at that point?
Yeah, I mean, pedophilia for me is it's cringeworthy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I never watched Precious after the first time. I watched it one time just off of the fact of like what her mom said to her. You know what I mean? Right. Like, because I can't wrap my mind around it. So for them to think that they were going to put out a video, because did you see it? Did you actually see it?
I watched it. Yeah.
Right. So like if you've seen it, it's so distasteful, and the fact that, like you said, that they use even more distasteful being the fact that they use the actual child. Like, you really thought this was going to do anything? Like, that's where your mind is at. Like, and at desperate times, these ain't people with money. These are people that, you know, on the come up. So this is what this is your best thinking. Nah, it wouldn't have been anything different. Like I said, like you said, to your point, with the Catch a Predator, they use the sexy decoy is always a grown up that they, you know, and like you said, there's no children involved. You don't see anything remotely close to what they were trying to, you know, prove in this thing. And it's just disgusting. Like, I don't have nothing but total disdain for what they tried to do.
Yeah, it for me, it completely missed the mark. I don't find Aries funny anyway. And I think Tiffany was trying to find whatever avenue she could to just be in the light. But for somebody that is still trying to get his light after decades of being in the comedy industry, it's just, this is something that you really missed on. It's just, the shit's not funny. I think it's disgusting. And now the fact that this kid is harmed by this, you know what I mean? Because kids are kids. So like, you don't know if he's ever going to get over that. And it can be a bullying situation later on down the line or currently. Because whenever this happened, little boy got to go back to school. Everybody now sees this video, sees it as you.
Yeah, but nobody, honestly, I don't think many people saw it though.
Shit.
No, I'm talking about when it came out, when they actually posted it. Not many people saw it. I think by having this lawsuit, they brought way more attention to it. I've never even heard of it.
That's saying the lawsuit brought a lot of attention to it, but it's like, that's what I'm saying. So now that it became public, even when they put it up online, like people, they started pulling it back down, but it was already like flooding through Twitter and everywhere else at that point. So everyone was like screen recording it, reposting it. It's like it's everywhere. If you start looking for it, you'll eventually find it if you're desperate.
I mean, there was no need for it. We didn't need that. We know, like, pedophilia, like I said before, is a disgusting thing. So there's no PSAs for it, because there's no reason, because everybody knows it's wrong. So yeah, you know what I mean? So it's not even nothing that needs a PSA for it. There's no gray line with it. So, you know what I mean? It's black and white. So again, I think
they could have done it in a better way that didn't have him looking at this little boy in his drawers playing with his toys. Like, it is just, there's a better way you could have went about it. You could have like left him with the boy and then came back home and say, how was your day with Uncle whatever? the little boy tells you something. It's like it's a very different way to go about it. But where they try to be funny with the R. Kelly song and looking through the newspaper and shit, it's just you missed horribly.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Yeah, I'm good on that. Fuck pedophiles. They should all die. Straight up.
Okay.
That's not okay. Like, no, that's real shit. Like, I'm not recanting that. That's the truth.
I think a lot of people that do a lot of things should just die. But it's
pedophilia is a different level.
It's like beating up somebody's grandmom and you 22. Like, you need to, you know what I mean, fall off a cliff into a shallow pool of acid. That still ain't pedophilia. No, it's it's a little worse. Almost. Hold on.
Is it?
Nah, not really.
All right, cool. Oh, snap.
Oh, wow.
I like it. I like it.
Talking all that, but can't even show your face.
I'm having some technical difficulties, man. I can't even get my damn. I'm not sure on the rotate. Wait, I'm live. Oh, anyway, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's going on, champ? You got anything you want to input on this Tiffany Haddish situation?
Nah, I'm good on that, man. I don't want to talk about that. I'm with Bud. Pedophilia. Them niggas need to die. Die slow, motherfucker.
So let's jump into this Chicago bail situation that we all heard about, the Safety Act. Basically saying like it's no cash bail provision is what's causing all the problems. The law went into effect last year. Basically what it was saying is that all police departments in the state of Illinois has to have body cameras on by 2025. Updates to the police use of guidelines or use of force guidelines are a part of the requirements as well. But the part that is really setting everybody off is the no cash bail situation, where certain crimes are going to be allowed to leave court without having retention with bail included with it. So the problem is it's a lot of information going out. A lot of it isn't right. A lot of it is right. So basically what I found, they're saying that for the language of the bill, it describes charges that are forcible felony offenses. So a judge can withhold pretrial release under the criminal code. That includes treason, first-degree murder, second-degree murder, predatory criminal sexual assault of a child, aggravated criminal assault, or aggravated criminal sexual assault, robbery, burglary, residential burglary, aggravated arson, aggravated kidnapping, aggravated battery resulting in bodily harm or permanent disability or disfigurement, and any other felony which involves the use of threat or physical force or violence against any individual.
So those are the ones that. So those that listed those charges that you just read. What are those? What is it again?
Those are the charges where the judge can say we're keeping you in jail without being released without bail. You're just going to jail until your trial happens. And within that list, a lot of that is what like the politicians and everyone are putting out, saying that these are the people that are going to be back on the streets because they don't get to have bail. So it's just like it's that misinformation kind of situation happening. But again, I think the dangerous part of it is that it's up to the judge's discretion on who he's going to let go home and who he's going to keep in jail. So that said, do you go to Chicago for the purge?
Chicago already got a purge, man.
Every weekend.
Right.
I mean,
200, 300, 400, 100.
Hold on. Let me do this, because per capita, Alaska has more murders than Chicago does.
Sorry, that don't count.
That does
Alaska
count.
Got four. Alaska got 4 people.
Do we really know that?
Alaska got 3.
Nah, because Chicago falls like number, I think, 11 when it comes to per capita, when it comes to murder.
Alaska got 30 days a night.
Hey,
so they need to do something to break that monotony.
It's depression.
You know what I'm saying?
Chicago gets a bad rap.
I don't condone killing. I don't condone killing, but Chicago, let's be clear. Them jokers be having anywhere from 100 to 200 to 300 murders every weekend.
When I lived in Philly, it was at like 4 something.
Yeah, but at least Philly, they kill behind closed doors. Chicago, you could be at your son's grave site. You could be at a funeral procession. Them jokers gonna shoot you if
I
they
thought-
trying to get you.
I used to think that until Jesse Smollett pulled the shit he pulled in Chicago. That took all credit away.
Juicy.
Yeah.
Juicy.
Juicy Smouye.
I can't even talk about
So
that.
once he pulled that, I'm like, oh, Chicago ain't that bad. You can walk outside and go to the subway and get you a sub. You good?
Yeah, at 2:00 in the morning.
You good?
Yeah.
Get bleach poured on you.
I don't like to answer like, I'm not going to Chicago for the purge. Chicago's a nice city to visit though, but not for the purge. Like, but I just think like there's so much misinformation about it, like you were saying, that once we really get all that
There you
involved
go.
in it. Oh, he came in with the tough face too from the space station.
in the lab.
He heard
Yeah.
Chicago.
Nah,
Yeah,
but my John is. I gotta go back out.
You're good.
I gotta leave
You're
and come
good.
back. No, my screen is messed up. I can't even barely see nobody. I can't even rotate it or nothing. I gotta leave and come back.
We live, so say hi to the people.
Yo,
Bye.
real talk.
Bye. See you in a couple minutes.
Yo, can we take a minute to appreciate whatever beat this is playing? What beat is that? Who's playing that music?
Yeah, this is the real PJ soundtrack.
Oh, that's it? That's his music?
You know what it is.
I got you.
So y'all gonna answer this question, or y'all over bail in Chicago? All y'all want to do
Man,
is
listen. Only reason I wanted to go to Chicago wasn't for no purge. I was going to go for deep dish pizza and beef sandwiches. That's it. That's all I was going to Chicago for. So whether it's a purge going on, it's a sandwich that's made of beef and cheese, and they dip it in au jus, or it's like a wet sandwich. You got to stand up to eat it, but they make them up there in Chicago.
Where are we going with this?
It's a soggy cheeseburger.
Listen, no, Bug. It was just the part where you said it's a wet sandwich. I was like,
we ain't going there. I ain't going no further than this a wet sandwich. But anyway, whether it's a purge or not, if I'm in Chicago and I get the pizza and the sandwich, I'm good. Like, I ain't going out to participate. And I'm a 2A advocate. Like, I'm all about the guns, baby, but I'm good on that.
What you think, PJ?
I think, of course, nobody's going for the purge, but I think there's way too much misinformation and not enough understanding. But I feel like that happens with everything that they try to put into law until it actually becomes a law. Everybody's going to have their ideas and their agendas. The Republicans and the Democrats, they're going to clash over it. It's just a talking point at this point. I don't think any of it really means anything. We'll see what really happens after it actually happens. It may be beneficial. It may harm a lot of people. Who knows? The truth is, the whole point is, if you don't like it, just don't do any crimes. Stay out of trouble. You ain't got to worry about it.
I think this is the issue. Basically, what they created the law for was people that have like minor offenses and misdemeanors for like smoking weed outside, like loitering, stuff like that. You're not sitting in jail. Somebody doesn't have to pay bail to get you out of jail for having a dime bag of weed on you. So basically, like, your minor offenses, they're just going to be released until their trial date instead of being put in jail and then having somebody put up their house to get them out of jail, which is basically what Black Lives Matter and all the civil rights movements have been asking for. So now they're doing it. And upon doing it, now they're flipping it and making it seem like, all the criminals are about to run rampant in the streets of Chicago. It's already bad enough. Look what's getting ready to happen. It's the same shit they pulled in San Francisco and had that district attorney, district attorney. He got recalled because of the crime in San Francisco when they were doing smash and grabs. But he had the same thing. If it's a minor offense or it's going to become a misdemeanor, we're not going to put you in jail and charge you and hold you in cash bail for that. Like, that's minor. That's dumb. So I think it's just the wording in it is horrible. And I think that a lot of politicians that push it like this should be held accountable for putting out false information, especially when you're just blatantly lying. But that's just my,
But you know what? I want to plug this point for those thinking they could just go out there and run willy-nilly. Like, for real. I looked it up earlier. It said, The Safety Act abolishes cash bail across Illinois, so a defendant can only be detained in pretrial confinement. Listen, can only be detained in pretrial confinement, and this is in the act, so I want you to hear this, people. When prosecutors prove to a judge that a defendant is a flight risk or poses a specific real or present threat to any person or the community.
Right. AKA your black ass is going to jail.
Basically, that's what I heard.
Always remember that you're black first. Basically,
No
they're
doubt.
always black first. This ain't gonna work out too well for us. And we don't know the whole law, so
Yeah,
Exactly.
don't get all
Stay out of
goofy.
trouble.
Yep. Don't be goofy.
go play Purge if you want to. Your ass can sit on death row talking about the Green Mile.
That's why I wanted it to be known. Let's go. We on the road.
So, what we got
Tell them about
next?
the gun line, boss. so next up, change music.
I need that beat for my mixtape.
Diary of a Mad Bugs.
Bugs is lonely at the top.
Bugs is lonely at the top. Diary of a Mad Bugs.
So, all right. So everybody knows or may have known or heard about John Boyega and his preference about dating black women specifically. John Boyega is the black dude from Star Wars, who's also in the new movie The Woman King with Viola Davis. So basically, he's catching a lot of backlash right now for saying that he only or prefers to date black women. Of course, it's never really a thing when it's the opposite way. As long as they're dating, who they want to date, we're good. But when black people say what their preferences are, it becomes an issue. So is it and should it be an issue for a black person to say that they only date black people?
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna go against. You know what? I don't know, because I want to see what y'all got to say about what I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think it's the fact of why did he feel the need to speak on and make that statement? Was he saying it for a political reason? Like he wanted people to know that he only talks to black women? Was he asked that question of his preference? Does he only want to talk to black women? Like, was he putting it out there so it'd be known? Or was it just a question that was asked, he answered, and now he's receiving backlash? Because it could go either way in my book.
So what happened was he was on the Breakfast Club promoting that movie, and he said it prior, but even on the Breakfast Club interview, because I watched it, he stated that, he had dated a white woman before, but he said it's just something now that, and I think that's what it's all. At some point, like, you're with your mate because some of them, it's just something about your preference. You know what I mean? And I think that just because he's in a public light doesn't mean that he's not allowed to say anything, because I don't think he said anything wrong or offensive, and it's just weird that people think, like, for people to want to say, like, oh, I like somebody in my race. Okay, like, why is that even offensive?
Well, I think it's offensive coming from him for the fact of, and I'm going to go back a little bit. You got to think, it was people, he caught backlash when he was put in Star Wars. And it was something that went to bat for him. You see what I'm saying? Caucasian people, especially Caucasian females, that was going to bat for him. So I feel like to them it may be, even though it may not be looked at this way, a smack in the face, if you will. Hold on. So I push for you to be in Star Wars, but yet you're racist because you only that. And that's what they call it, or that's what some people going to say. I don't believe it makes
black
you
people
racist.
Black people can't be racist, number one. Two,
let's be clear.
Like,
it's a smack in the face.
Everybody has a preference of what they want to date. That doesn't have, like, his job performance doesn't have anything to do with who he likes to, like, who he wants to date and be intimate personally with. Like, that's, you know what I mean? I don't think that's a big thing, because if George Clooney came on and was like, I only like to date white women, I wouldn't be offended. You know what I mean? Like, George Clooney's not Latina. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I said if he was to say that.
Yeah,
I understand
you know what I mean?
But I think if George Clooney were to come on and he had a movie with Jennifer Lopez and he said, I just love Latin women. Like I
don't think nobody will have a problem with that.
I've always dated Latin women. I'm super attracted to Latin women. It's my preference. Like I love Latin women.
That's what it is then.
Yeah, I don't. Mine's quick. I don't think there's a problem with you saying what you're interested in. Like everybody's interested in something different, so whatever. And my thing is, there's people, predominantly white folks, that can say that they're only going to date their own, and no one's going to really get mad at them. So I don't think you should be mad at anybody that says that they're only going to date their own, or like. And I don't give a fuck if someone says I'm black and I only date white, or I'm white and I only date black. I really don't care. Like it shouldn't matter. It's what you listen. I shouldn't do. I'm supposed to do what turns me on, not what turns other people on, right? I got to get off, not them. You know what I mean?
Here's a thought to what you just said. I don't think that. About to go down this road. I don't think that white people ever have the need to explain themselves.
But you're not wrong.
For everyone else has to justify their thoughts, their actions, their preferences, their opinions. Everyone else has to explain it to the masses.
But that's part of the privilege, you know that.
I'm saying the privilege in that is that I don't even think they see that it's a privilege, that it's not something that they ever have to explain. There's nothing they're forced to explain until it comes to racism. And then when racism happens, it's let me cry. My tears are important. My tears matter. Let this go. Oh, she apologized. It's okay. Everybody else is held accountable for what they do. And for them, it's just like, okay. Like, they don't even have to explain. Again, because PJ said this when we had the Creaming the Coffee episode. Like, there's no need for them to explain their relationship because it's just a relationship. It's never considered an interracial relationship. It's just theirs. For us, if we step outside of anything from our culture to any other culture, it has to be explained. How'd you find her? Where'd she come from?
But see, that's why it's odd in the explanation, because he's not stepping out. He's saying like, I just like rocking with my own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. And he even stated in the interview, like he said, I've dated a white woman before. You know, he said, and there was nothing wrong with it. Like we went out, you know what I mean? He said, but like now going on forward, like my preference has been black woman. And he, you know, he elaborated more into, you know, the things that turned him on about it. But I just don't even see why it's really an issue outside the fact of like they just need something to talk about.
But I think that's the problem. It's you have a race of people that didn't want you dating their race forever. And their pride and glory was the fact that they were keeping their race as natural and perfect as possible.
Yeah.
So the moment that you say, oh, I'm not interested in y'all, it's like, oh, why the fuck not? You're supposed to be. Isn't that y'all's thing? Like, you're supposed to like get famous and come and looking for us. Like, that's the mentality.
Oh,
so it's like, it's almost like it throws them off when you don't want that, because you're supposed to desire it.
So that's basically someone just trying to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. Like, who really cares? I could, you know what? I could sit there and say, yo, this week I want to date white, and next week I want to date black. Who gives a shit, man? Really? I mean, it's whatever turns me on. It was what I look for. It's going to make me. What's going to make me get my rocks off? Like, it doesn't have nothing to do with nobody else. It's like the whole saying, "What you eat don't make me shit." You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm anxious to hear what PJ got to say, but before he do, I want to get this backlash real quick and put this out there. I don't date people with ugly feet. So if your feet ugly, I'm not talking to you. Give me all the backlash. You can see my inbox on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. It is what it is. Let's go, PJ.
Yeah, superficial bugs.
Stating your preference really doesn't matter as long as you're not putting down another race while you're doing it. So if the question is like, all right, do you date, you ask her, let's say we're talking to a white woman, do you date black men? And she's like, hell no, I only date white men. You know what I mean? Then I feel some type of way. You're putting me down, you know what I mean? But if you're just strictly stating your preference, it's your preference.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's weird though. It's weird when you think about it, because unless you're talking about the ability to relate with someone based on, life experiences, which sometimes plays into your race, why do we have preferences on skin color or ethnicity? You know what I mean? Other than that. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird in a sense.
Seasoning.
Traditions, understandings, like, you know what I mean? Because like you know, like we, like you said, we have discussed this previously on our cream and the coffee episode, but like people do like that some comfort, and he is a Hollywood figure, and he is notable. And you see, just by saying something so simple, to your point, PJ, he didn't even express, he didn't put no other race down, but he just simply said, "Hey, I like black women. That's what I'm dating." And you see how much backlash he got just because, like, to Shad's point, oh, you're in the public eye, you're supposed to want us, like, you know, like, that's so weird. Like,
did he say? Do you know what the words he said? Did he say I like black women?
He said my preference is to date black women.
All right. See, what he should have said is I love my black queens. It'd have been no question at that point.
No, because that would have sounded like Bugs. And I'm like, oh, Bugs ghost wrote that shit for it.
Because at that point, because now he's putting black women up on a pedestal. So anybody that has something to say about it, now you're knocking them down. So now why are you knocking our black women down? You know what I mean? So it wording can play a part in it. I'm not saying that he was wrong with what he said, but I'm just saying if he would have worded it different.
But I think that's just as dangerous, because it's why do you have to be careful or be very specific in how you say what your preference is?
Because you don't want to offend nobody.
Why?
Who get this shit?
No,
listen. But that's not offending anybody. Me saying what I like. Me saying what I like shouldn't offend anybody else.
Yeah, but we are the you.
So like PJ said, if you say ill no, why would I do that? That's different.
But
Right.
My preference is. It's just I think
because
that
you may have to do a scene. You know what I mean? You may have to do a scene with a Caucasian woman.
But it's personal, boy.
I'm not knocking it. But what I'm saying, apparently somebody was. All I'm saying is this: apparently somebody was offended.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, for it to even be a subject. So he offended somebody and rubbed some feathers with it.
That's weird because my personal.
It's like looking at race for one thing, not one thing, but when it comes to that, you want to stick with that. It's like you signifying race. You know what I'm saying? Anything that signifies race or goes against the gays or does this or does that, y'all know it's going to receive backlash. It is what it is.
No, but it's weird because he's a black man. He just said that I like my black woman. Like, you know what I mean? Like how hard is that? Like, and here's the thing: it's commonly known. This is the funny thing to everyone's point. If you just see me out, and you see my wife, hey, oh, he's with a black woman, that's fine. But if you see me out and they see me with an Asian woman, they be like, oh, he got an Asian wife. I didn't expect that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reaction. No. But what I'm saying is that, like, him just stating something that's kind of obvious that you may not even think. Like, if he would have said, like, man, I only like white women, then it would have been like, oh, snap. Like, it still would have been some type of backlash.
But that's
you know
the
what I mean?
problem.
Like,
why couldn't he just be
why can't he just like his normal though? Like, you know what I mean? Like his regular, like his.
But no, it's
why you
always
gotta
going
put
to
race
be.
in it?
It's always going to be backlash because it doesn't matter, and it's going to come from both black, white, or whoever. Because it's just like if a white person sees black like an interracial relationship, they're going to judge it. If a black person sees an interracial, they might judge it. Like, and that's why it shouldn't matter. It's like whatever. Like, you don't even have to broadcast. I'm gonna just do what I do. If you see me with a white chick, I'm with a white chick. If you see me with an Asian chick, I'm with an Asian chick. Like, I don't feel like he obviously didn't do nothing wrong. I think we're all in agreement there. But like, I don't think really he should even have to sugarcoat what he has to say. I think it's like, I know sometimes, and might be like our code switching thing. Maybe you want to, in his field of work, kind of tone down what you say so you won't get certain roles. That's just something we got to deal with as black folks. But I personally feel like he didn't do nothing wrong, and no one, black, white, Hispanic, whatever, like no one should have to like feel bad for what they like. You don't have to broadcast. Just do you. It's what you like. You in your head, you look at a certain race or whatever, or maybe you don't even have a certain race. You just look at a female coming from a guy's perspective, and you're like, yo, she's gorgeous, and she just happens to be whatever her race is, and I think that's okay. Like, that's totally fine.
But do you think he'd have received backlash if he'd have been like, you know what? I'm not a fan of green bean casserole, and I don't want raisins in my potato salad, so I'm gonna stick with my queens. You think he would have got backlash?
I mean, but of course, because that goes into PJ's thing, and that's the whole point with like sticks. But the fact is, like, let's be honest. Most of the time, if you see a celebrity, no matter what race, if you see them with their race out in public, like, nobody's shocked. So him just stating something that you kind of commonly expect is weird that it's getting backlash. You see Denzel Washington on the carpet, you knew his wife is black. Now, if you would have seen Denzel with a white woman, they'd be like, "Oh my God." You know what I mean? It's something different. And that's the thing.
There are a lot that are out there with white women. And I think that's the point people trying to get away from is specifying race. That's all I'm saying. I think people want to get away. Some people want to get away from it. Like, if that's your girl, that's your girl. If that's your dude, that's your dude. Whether they purple, yellow, black, white, orange. Why do you got to specify that they're black?
I think the depth of the conversation is probably too much to be a quick hit. But it's like when you think about where it all comes from, all racial discomfort comes from one group. So everybody else can pretty much figure it out.
Right.
The uncomfortable part of the conversation is always brought on by one group. And it's to make everyone else question everything else. And I hate to like go down that route, but like Bub said, it's like, or PJ said, you know what I mean? Well, why is there a preference of complexion? And that goes back to someone else telling you what's good and what's not, what's beautiful and what's ugly. So it's like you have this cesspool of toxicity when it comes to things within race that have all been generated over centuries by one race. And now everyone else has to fall into play with where it is. I don't think we should sugarcoat anything. I don't think that people should be able to tell you what you should and should not say, how you should and should not say it. Fuck it. If that's how I feel, that's how I feel. And if you're offended by it, that's something on you. That's not on me. Now, if you go back to the last topic, that's different because that's showing a profile of something. But someone's personal feelings and personal desires, it's none of your fucking business.
Yeah, and I think more people anyway would be open to dating outside of race if it wasn't such a thing. Because
it's taboo.
You can just look at a person and say that they're beautiful just because you're like, it doesn't make you ugly or cute because you're black, white, or whatever. Like, I just feel like you're just into what you're into. Like, listen, man, I personally would date any race. I don't really give a shit. Like, I think women of all races are beautiful. And I don't care if anyone judges me for that. Like,
I will too, as long as they feed for it.
You know, oh my God, that's our cue. Because see. So before we go to our heavy lifting, date who you date for love. If your preference is your preference, stick to it. Fuck what anybody else has to say. It doesn't matter. Like, love who you love because they gonna love you back. That's what matters. Fuck what we say. Fuck what we think. You know what I mean? That's all you can really do.
This is why we're here, for our thoughts.
No. I mean, but I don't really care about your preference or Bugs and his feet thing. But we do got something we get ready to talk about that we do need to really talk about. So we gotta get in this heavy lifting because this is something that y'all really want to see. This is what y'all really want to talk about.
Yeah.
It's talk about wagons. Wagons that don't be sagging. And I ain't never met a dude that don't like a wagon. If he don't got no. I ain't gonna go into it.
We are talking about wagons. And for those that aren't familiar, we're not talking about the little red flyer wagons the kids be running up and down the street with. We talking about wagons, them BBL'S. You know what I'm saying? Them tummy tucks, them things. Now listen, people, listen. Is it low self-esteem, or is it to make you look better? Is it worth the pain? Or do you regret it? These are all questions we're trying to get to. Now, me, myself, I personally know a couple people that I know personally that have had them. So even though they have accentuated increase, the process was very tedious and strenuous. And I know some that would say if they could go back and do it over again, they wouldn't. But then the other two was like, hey, I'm good to go. They enjoy where they are now in life. I guess it's all about preference. But my question to y'all is this: why do you think so many people are doing it now?
I mean, first, before we even ask that, why somebody's beeper goes off in the background? Let's be
that's
honest.
a drug
right?
dealer beeper right there.
Like, you know what I mean? That's somebody strapped to 92 and they got that New York Undercover beeper. But what we go ask, let me ask before we even go there, Bug.
The Carter's burning.
Like so to Bug's question, we talking about BBLs. Fellas, do we really like BBLs? Like, what do we think about BBLs first? Like,
I think, go ahead. I'm always talking first. But anyway, go ahead, John.
That's your world, man.
All right, well, if it's my world, then all right, go ahead, PJ.
I like all natural. To be honest, like I think the BBL thing is just like overdone. I haven't seen one that looks natural or even it's its own shape. It's its own thing. It's not even. It's like it should be its own body part. You can't even register it as a butt at that point. It's just like, if you had to register your body parts, you have to register it as like a foreign object or something. The thighs don't match the legs.
The thighs don't match the legs.
I mean, the thighs don't match the butt. It's all off, man. It usually looks like lollipops, just like it's not.
See, for me, it's a funny question to ask. Of course, it catches my eye initially because it's an ass. Like, we'll just be honest. Like, everybody, like, we're at the age now where we don't really have to tell lies. So, like, when a woman walks past, you will look. All right, cool. But the issue is that, like you said, it looks so disoriented. Like, does this look so crazy that it's like, all right, it's not attractive. Like, did you really need to do that much? Because what we mainly say is, man, it just looks so unnatural that it's not even attractive. You know what I mean? And like to your point, PJ, it's like, all right, most women don't really get it where it still looks natural. You're getting it so excessive that it looks ridiculous. And you're like, did you need to get hit from the back that much that you need to put that much cushion back there? And I know I said that, and I'm going to leave that there, but that's the trail. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what did you really think? What do you expect for someone to want from you if that's what you're going to do?
That's what they want. That's why they did it. They want what they want. You already know what they want. They want the attention. They want the increase, and they want what comes along with it. They want the looks. They want the free drinks. They want the this. Some people just do it because they're not happy with themselves. If that's you, shout out to you, because you're far and in between. But those other people, they doing it for reasons. Like, there's a method behind that madness, bro. This crazy's been going on. Them people want to be voluptuous. Them people want to be full. They want the fullness. They want you to see their fullness. Talk about their fullness. They want you to motorboat that and be all up in that. You know what I'm saying? Well, my bad.
Well, we see who eats ass in their spare time. Shad, what you got up there in your throne?
Oh my God.
What you got?
I think I'm blaming all this on Sir Mix-a-Lot. Like, it was okay to be a skinny girl until he made the damn video. And then you think about like why a lot of chicks are getting them, and ultimately it's not for themselves or for like other chicks. You're getting it to try to impress a dude. Most of them are getting it to try to like go find athletes or rappers or whatever, because they know like a lawyer don't want no chick with a BBL. Like, that's not about to work. You're doing it to try to like get somebody with some money, basically. I mean, you have again, there's the few and far between who get it just because they want to accentuate whatever's there, but most of them are very, like, you have to ask if it's real. Like, it's not something that's just nonsense, like that ain't real. So you got levels of it. I think it's dumb as hell. I think if you don't got it, it ain't gonna match when you get it. It's not gonna work out well. If you get a BBL and you're not going to the gym, you're gonna look a damn mess. And then most people ain't paying the real price for it. You're getting like bathroom caulk put in your ass. Like, that's not gonna work out well.
Did you say it's bathroom caulk?
Yeah, it gets to a bad place where you're spending your last to do it. You don't know, you're not doing like follow-up surgeries. I watched the K Michelle show, like the whole season of it, talking about like plastic surgeries going wrong. Like, these people are doing the worst, and a lot of them are getting denied for surgeries that go to like Peru or to Colombia or something like that.
Dominican Republic.
I'm saying, get the surgery, get kicked out the hospital 2 hours later, put back on the plane where you're not supposed to be flying. Now you got to get back to where you're at, have follow-up visits from somebody if you can actually get them in. It's a mess. Like, it's just, I don't see the point. Do some squats.
So none of us believe that these women are doing this for like self-improvement for themselves, but just because
I won't say that.
Go ahead.
I know.
I don't believe that. I can't say that they all do it strictly for male attention. There's some of them that could do it, and it depends. It depends on what you are. So let's say you're in an industry where your asset is your body. And if you're, for example, if you're a stripper and you see that the strippers with the big butts get all the attention and all the money, all right, cool. You're going to do it for your money.
Attention.
Huh?
If you're a stripper, that's for male attention.
No, it's for money. It's not for male attention. It's for
Who's the money coming from?
It can be male or female. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It's not just men in the strip club. But
no,
I'm saying the whole point.
Majority of money will come from dudes.
It doesn't matter. The point.
But you know what?
The point isn't male attention outside of work.
He made
your work. You're doing it for work.
A good point. PJ made a real good point because in all actuality, let's be real, and y'all can say what y'all want to, but we all know the truth. If Maggie didn't have what she has, I'm not saying it's a BBL, would she be making? No. If Nikki didn't have,
that's the one. That's the one. Nikki, not Megan, because Megan's.
But Nikki
wouldn't be nothing. Nikki,
I don't agree with that either.
But hold on, Nikki. Wayne told her to do that to accentuate.
I mean,
so she can sell albums.
Whenever you take body advice from somebody that looks like Wayne, like you already got problems.
But see, that's the thing. He made her. He helped her get her where she is, though. Same thing with Cardi. Cardi was a stripper.
But we're not talking about just famous people because they're always going to have the means to do that. You know what I mean? But we're talking about just the average woman because, like, we're seeing more.
That's
in
the
society.
point I was trying to make. Would they have the impact they have and the fan base, male fan base? I'm talking about.
But they didn't.
They're not. Hold on. They're not. Their fan base isn't male.
Right.
I'm talking about the men that do like them. Is what I'm saying.
The men that do like them ain't buying their music either.
Yo, I'm not driving around playing no Nicki Minaj. I'm with you,
right.
PJ. So you don't hear me. You don't hear me playing no.
If you look at Nicki's career when she first came out, she tried to stay away from male attention. Period. She was trying to play that whole "I'm a lesbian, I'm only for the girls" and all that stuff. That wasn't even a part of her. She wasn't even pushing out that. So I don't think for, especially for celebrities, I don't think the male attention part of it makes that much sense because that's not who's buying their music.
But if you're
it's the visual.
But if you're a celebrity and you get a BBL, it is only for male attention.
Yes.
Like there's no other reason. Like you're doing it for a dude to look at you.
I don't fully agree with that.
See, my thing is that I think
if not, you can be a Sandra Bullock and be fine.
Sandra Bullock's fine.
And be fine with the little bit of whatever you got, and you can be fine. If Sandra Bullock went and got a BBL, it's like, what's the problem? What's wrong? What are you going through?
Well, that would look goofy anyway, so that would
that's
be
what I'm saying. But it's like that's what I mean. But it's like you have people that are doing it, and the only way you're doing it is to be more appealing to someone. You're not doing it to be more appealing to yourself. You're trying to impress someone.
But see, I'm in PJ's thing because I have had conversations with people where women just they didn't like their shape and say, you know what I mean, and they just wanted to enhance it for themselves, and that's sincere. Like and like somebody, they were decent looking, they just like, man, I would just get this, and I'm like, oh, all right, like, and they don't have a problem with themselves. It's just the fact that they wanted it just because they wanted
a pancake ass,
right?
And I think I don't want a pancake ass no more. I want some curves.
But now we just see it in so much excess now that it's killed it. It's killed the lure of it. It makes everybody like, oh, another one. You know what I mean? Or it just makes you say, oh, that's stupid. But I think there are some legitimate women out there who just like to, wants to, because you hear women all the time now, like we're in our 40s. So you hear women that are like, oh, I wouldn't mind getting a breast lift just because I want my, my breast up more, or you know what I mean? Something like that. So I think there's a lot more. Go ahead.
Because most people that end up doing like breast lifts probably had kids. Their breasts probably dropped since they had kids, and it's like they want them to be back where they were at. But
they just want them to look. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even still, like you want them to look that. If you were blind, and not for real. If you were blind and didn't know that your ass was flat, would you care?
You could feel it.
So
yeah, you sit on your tailbone,
but you're not
fart
going.
And it shivers.
But you're not going. But you're not going to see it. So if you don't see it, what are you worried about?
Because you're gonna hear it. Darn, ain't nothing back there.
That's what I mean. It's
the extreme. I think
a lot of like this level of cosmetic surgery is for the desire of somebody else. Because if you're comfortable where you are, you don't have no reason to do it.
Well, let me tell you.
Like,
Chime in.
It's
Chime
like
in, ladies. Ladies,
But
chime in.
that's like saying anything that you do to yourself is for the attention from somebody else.
If it's not for like a medical reason,
No,
yeah.
I'm not even talking about going that far. For example,
a nose job.
like no. Let's make it simpler than that. Getting a haircut.
Absolutely, we said this before. The only reason you get a haircut is to appeal to somebody else. You
No,
don't get a haircut for yourself.
so then why do people in jail get haircuts all the time?
Why
is there a barber in jail?
Bub had this conversation on the last show.
they want to look tougher than them niggas that's hard in the yard, nigga.
That's not true. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree with you, PJ.
I think people in jail get haircuts because it gives them a sense of normalcy to make them feel like they're on the outside. It's something you look forward to. It's something that makes you feel like you're doing something that is controlled by yourself. So I think that's why you end up still getting haircuts in jail, because they can just be like, y'all not getting haircuts. Let your shit grow. Or it's only crop tops, or not crop tops. What's some things called? Like straight Caesars. All your hair is off. It could be one or the other. But saying you can go to the barber in jail and get a haircut and get a fade to look presentable for yourself, it gives you that self-esteem while you're in jail. So it's something to look forward to and something to make you feel normal.
And see, I'm with PJ. Like, I disagree.
You don't think so?
Are people. I think people that
I do.
I think people. Nah, because I think people like. I think people get haircuts in jail and stuff for visits and various other reasons. But
that could be part of it.
But for like women, I think part of it is the fact that like Beyonce has that song "Pretty Hurts," and I think that's part of the reason. Like women. Like we play a part in the fact that these women feel this way about it? Like even the fact that like even in they psyche that they think that like they can say that I want these breasts to look firm for myself, but is it something about what society has pressed upon you to actually feel that way? Where they might sincerely want their breasts to be up more because they had nice perky joints before, but they had kids and they want to feel a different way, or they want their hips tucked or things like that. I don't necessarily think it's bad. I just think that like there's like a societal pressure that plays a part in it for a lot of situations.
I don't think it's bad. I think that we have to just be very honest about why it's being done. So it's when you walk around the actual issue, it's like you're not necessarily just doing this. You're not getting your breasts lifted just so you can look in the mirror and say, my breasts are lifted. You're going to put on a tight bra. You're going to have them exposed. You're going to go out in public. You're going to make sure everybody see your titties. Like, that's just how it's going to work.
That's prime example. Let me give you an example, right? Now, me, I was 419 pounds. Now, grateful. I'm very grateful. I don't have a lot of loose skin, but I got people that I'm cool with that done lost significant amount of weights, right? They got cool like skin. Like I'm talking about 400, 380 pound dudes that then got down. Now, I've seen myself every day in the mirror. You feel what I'm saying? So my question to you is, if I say, okay, I want to go get a tummy tuck and get this skin going, is it for me or is it for somebody else? Because if I see
answer that though,
I'm comfortable with me, but I say I think I need to do this, then is it for me or is it for somebody else? Let's be clear.
That's for you to answer. Well, you answer it for us.
And I'm gonna tell you, it would be for somebody else because I see me every day and I'm cool with me. It's me. But if I'm gonna be like, yo, come over, and we plan on doing XYZ, then I'm not gonna want all that around my stomach or all that around my arms or wherever it is people get it removed from. So I think it's not just the BBL'S, it's just all that in general, the lipo, the Botox. You mean to tell me the people want Botox so they can purposely look like that for themselves?
Nah, like Botox, like Deion Sanders gets Botox. Like there's people that actually get it just because you get older, and Botox, just accentuates some of the sunken spots in your face. But I don't necessarily agree.
I think that's the thing. Like in other cultures, aging is like seen as a sign of wisdom. It garners respect. It's something that it's a process that you're going to go through. So when you get into like tribal places and say like Africa or whatever, you see like a elder woman. Like the older you look, the more that you're looked up to.
True.
Because we know that you've been here, you have life experiences, you have wisdom. They look for that. Like we have it's like the Hunger Games. We're the fucking
trying to go backward.
Like it's we have to be perfect all the time, and you're not being perfect for yourself because you're yourself. You grew up with this shit. That's like me getting braces. I had these fucking teeth my whole life. Like I have gaps. I'm not getting braces at 40 years old. Like there's no point. That's not for me. That's for somebody else. That's for somebody else's approval. So
PJ, you got a lot to say. What you got on your mind, PJ?
I've been waiting here.
Yeah, because look,
it's just the idea of saying that you do everything that you do for somebody else, and I can't get down with that. Yo, so for example, Shah, you said when we first started talking about BBL, you was like, yo, go do some squats, right? Okay, so woman gets in the gym, she starts doing squats, right? Mm-hmm. She starts working out, period, changing her whole body. Is she doing that for somebody else, or is she doing it for herself?
It depends on why she's doing it. Like as I'm saying, so
if you can say that about going to the gym, you can say the same thing about getting a BBL or getting breast implants.
And I said about a BBL and breast implants, it depends on why you're doing it. You just have to have an honest conversation about what you're doing it for. Like we can't keep saying that like, oh, we're doing it just because I want to feel good. Like that's not the case. Like you're not going to go risk your life to get some butt implants so that you can feel good. That don't make sense.
That's not true.
So you're gonna go pay
both ways, Shad.
No, that's not having it both ways. It's saying be honest with why you're doing it.
Right, and that could be the honest answer.
If the honest answer is I want to just have a big butt for myself, I have no interest in anyone looking at me. I'm going to wear muumuus from now until I die.
Well, even if you wear a muumuu with a fat ass,
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
it's like what happens is people get these surgeries, and the moment they're close to healed, everything becomes revealing. Everything becomes super tight. Everything becomes something to accentuate what you just had done. That's not for you.
That's because they like the way it looks.
They like to see that everyone else likes the way it looks. Because if it was botched, when it's messed up, when they mess up, they hide it. So once it doesn't look right or something looks deformed, now you're hiding it. If you're happy with getting it done, you'll just be happy with getting it done. That's like I can't say I go to the gym like multiple times a week because I just want to look good for myself in the bathroom with the door closed in the mirror. That would be a fucking lie.
But that's for you, because me, I don't go to the gym because I'm so comfortable with myself, with my gap in my teeth, my dip in my head. You know what I mean? Like the way I am. But I'm with PJ in the sense because like I think that I think there's a lot of people that don't do stuff, but they don't do stuff because of other people. Like you can't just say that. Like I think that there's
it's an image. Image is not for self. Image is for the appearance. Image is for the appearance of everyone else. If you lived on an island by yourself, you would not give a fuck what your ass looks like.
That's true.
Well, you'd be by yourself. So what the hell would you have to post of ass?
That's my point. You wouldn't care. You're by yourself. Like your ass would be the last thing on your mind.
No,
it's not extreme.
I would care if I was on an island by myself. If there was a mirror, I would care. If I could see myself, I would still care about what I look like. If I can't see myself, I can't tell.
If you couldn't see yourself, that's what. All right. For instance, biblically, Adam and Eve couldn't see until they ate the apple. You see the apple, now you know you're naked. Now it's the problem. You're trying to go hide. Until that point, you don't know what's going on. You don't know there's an issue. You don't know anything's wrong. So it's like if you can't see your ass and no one else is there to tell you what your ass looks like, you wouldn't care. Shit comes out of it, you wipe it, you go about your business.
That ain't only what ass is for. But let me ask this real quick, Bugs, real quick before you jump. So since we're going back and forth in regards to who's it for, do we think that women really do it for the men? Do we think they do it for competition between other women? Or is it really there because they really like it? Like, because to PJ's point, like some people really do like it for themselves, but are the women that are getting them like bigger and more ridiculous, are they getting them because they're in a competition? Or is it because, with other women to prove something? Or is it because they want the male attention? Like, let's be honest about that.
All right, I tell you what, I'm going to play two parts here. I'm going to give you two different examples. You can go down to Atlanta, from what I'm told now. Dudes is doing this now. They going down and they having a penis enlargement surgery, right? There's a dude down there that'll take stuff out your stomach, put it in your penis. People is like doing it. It's a lot of people going down there to see this dude. Now, answer this question for me, because I flipped it and put the shoe on the other foot. Are these dudes doing this for them, or are they doing it for somebody else?
All right, well, check this out. Now, let me say this real quick. One, you was very detailed in knowing that, so I hope that that's not something that's on your agenda.
It's a big thing.
No. I'm just playing. I'm just talking that shit. But first of all, let's be honest. Because one, penis doesn't get displayed the way ass does. You know what I mean? Like, let's keep it honest. Like, you know what I mean? And we know ladies go talk about sweatpants and all that shit like that. But an ass, you can see, because an ass is there regardless of what you put pants on for. You know what I mean? Like, an ass, if it's flat, if it's fat, or if it's medium, it's going to sit out there. So a penis enlarged, you're getting it for sexual pleasure to make yourself do something sexually. It's not if you just walk around and let that thing swing. But an ass.
Have you seen the cucumber challenge?
Yo, no. Why would I? Like, where are you at?
No, hold on. Let me be clear.
Just make that up.
No, that's the point I'm trying to make. We talking about people, man. These people are out here doing these things. This is a real thing. I didn't know what it was until I heard co-workers talking about the joint, but I happened to be on YouTube was it YouTube? Anyway, Facebook, one of them, and this dude's to go around and then walk up to a woman and be by herself, and they had a cucumber in the joint just to see her reaction. They videotaped the reaction. It's a plethora of videos like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've seen those, but my
I just wanted to put the shoe on the other foot. You're not doing that for you. Like, you may like it, but it's not for you. And I want to plug it.
That's a video. That's a video of just, it's not like when you put a cucumber on display, you're just showing it all. Dude, we're talking about people that are truly altering their body.
And
you know
what
I
I'm
mean?
saying,
that's not an alteration. You know what I mean?
That's what I was getting to is the alterations. The point I'm trying to make is I'm not saying everybody's all, no, they don't like their body, no, this, that, and the third. I say maybe it's a good 25-30% they do. But I will say I'm willing to bet money that majority is doing it for somebody else, not them, or the attention. That's just my opinion, bro. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm rocking with Bugs on this one. I think there's very few people that get plastic surgery just because they want to get plastic surgery for themselves. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
So are they in competition? Are they doing it or are they doing it for attention?
Yeah.
Like,
I think not. I think when it gets to that point, it's both. Like, it's definitely competition with chicks because you want to be better than the next chick coming into the club. Like, I'm gonna show off what I got because you ain't got it. That's one side. The other side is I'm gonna get this dude looking at me and looking at my ass. He gonna love it, and I'm gonna get some money.
Hold on. Are we ignoring the fact that the majority of females to get these BBLs are single females? No. Are we just going to ignore that fact?
That ain't true. I don't know. That's a fact.
No, that's a fact.
That's.
I know a lot of.
Y'all making stuff up now.
No, that's
you know what? I think
you got the mommy makeovers, which are like the women who are married, but the mommy makeovers is way below the BBL limits. BBLs are not from chicks with dudes. A lot of them are single looking. I'll find some stats for you though.
A lot of people just want to be able to twerk.
No, I mean, I think it really boils down to the fact that people like to feel good about themselves, and like the act as if like an enhancement wouldn't work for you. Like, I get it. Like, it don't bother me that much for real because, again, like I said, I'm gonna look, but I just think that like to sit here and think that all women are doing it just for attention. Some of them like it just because they want to. Like I just know that there's some women that got ill builds and they want to do it just because they want to feel good about how they build.
I feel you. And that's what it is. But fellas, I do think we need a part 2 to this because I want to get some stats from some females that actually have done it and see if, where their mindset is on it. Because I know, like I said, 2 or 3 personally. If y'all know anybody, y'all can find out and then just bring the info back, even if it's just a quick hit.
All right. So in 2020, 396,105 people had butt lifts. So the people who get the most butt lifts are between 20 and 40 years old. Patients in the age range are less likely to have underlying medical conditions. Better skin, blah, 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 blah. Butt lifts are running a lot of fucking money. Takes 2 to 4 hours to perform.
So yeah, I mean, that age range up to 40, there's definitely a lot of wives in there. You know what I mean? There's definitely a lot of women with children. There's a lot of girlfriends. Like, that's what I'm saying. Cause like, I know, like, I'm gonna send y'all this thing. The defense being where this dude is laying on the thing with these stacks of money and it says, "I'll pay for BBLs." Like, that's the new hustle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think like it's. I think there's a lot more women that just have it because of wherever they feel. Like you said, all plastic surgery, and I don't just mean BBL. Like you said, breast lifts, all that stuff. So,
well, there we have it.
So what else you got, PJ? Since it's been a long time since you've been on here, you gonna say hi to the people?
Nah. Y'all have them people believing that y'all done kicked me out or fired me. Nah.
No, nobody. Well, okay, somebody did ask that, but listen, but obviously a crew of people that's been family for years, that doesn't happen. But it was also hilarious. But so at the end of the day, are you gonna look if a chick got a BBL? Is you gonna look?
you acting like look. You can't be like, oh, she got a BBL. I'm gonna look. You gonna look and then you'll know.
Right.
You can't know beforehand.
Right. So are they appreciated? Do they hold value?
Nah.
Do we appreciate them?
Nah, I don't.
Depends.
Depends on what, Bugs. Like, you're a feetologist, so look, the lover of feet. So what do you think about a BBL?
Well, see, when it comes to BBLs, my brother, I feel that some actually get it right. Some actually do get an accentuation, and it's better than the original. You see what I'm saying? And if that's the case, which in the 2 cases I've seen, people I know, I'm all for it. All for it, I mean. I'm all for the better, the increase to this, if that's what floats your boat. But if you're 90 pounds and that's about 25, that's not going to work out. There's no need to do that because it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm going to leave it alone at that. But do I look? Yes.
Do you look? Do you appreciate? Do you what do you think of them?
No, I think when you get to a certain point, it just looks dumb. Like it just looks dumb at a certain point. Like it's your ass don't match your legs. Your legs are like literally chicken legs, and you got a big ass, and it's just I think a lot of people you have to get a lot of different surgeries done for it to come out right.
But you know what though? It's one. I tell you, I'm gonna give you all a good example tonight. Hopefully she doesn't mind me plugging her because she plugs herself on her own TikTok. If you go to see Miss Toxic Beauty on TikTok, the thing.
How do you know this stuff? Are you giving the names of penile implants? Yo, Eddie, you in here? Look.
Right.
Listen. Yo, Eddie. Oh my God. Yo, Eddie, what's your true thoughts on BBL? Do you think that they do you appreciate them? Do you think they got value? Do you think they
All right, listen. I'm infatuated ass. I'm gonna just be real with you. I love a nice ass. So I'm just gonna say I appreciate it. I do think that some look ridiculous because the portions aren't right. But I'm not gonna fault her because she felt for some reason that she needed to do that. See, y'all on here being sexist, bashing women in their ass. Women are beautiful. Their asses is beautiful. They're fit. Like, without women, where would we be in this world, player? So hell yeah, I appreciate a BBL. Yeah, whatever you want to do, go for what you know. But side note, do you know that they got guys getting, I don't know what they're called, but they're getting penis enlargements and stomach cuts.
I just talked about it, Chief. I just brought it up.
Oh, I missed that combo.
So
Yeah,
no, so obviously you and Bugs is on your way down to Atlanta to get penal implant because they need extends. Like,
hold on. I'm very comfortable with my penis cuts.
I'm about to say, I'm good now.
You down the way, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm cool. Like,
If it's never you the one joking, shoot.
Well, that's because Eddie, what happened was real quick before, because we know we're gonna wrap this up soon. But like we were asking, you know, about do women really do it for themselves or for other people? So what happened was Boog said he that's how he brought up the penile implant thing, because he was saying that, you know, he heard that, you know, there's this doctor down in Atlanta that does it, and since he's gonna take this long trip down to Atlanta to go see best doctor.
I ain't down with the BBL. Hold up, bro. Hold up. First off, I ain't getting no BBL. Second off, I ain't doing everything either. I'm good because I don't want nobody messing up life.
First of all, no grown man getting a BBL.
On a serious note, on the other thing for the men, I don't like on some serious shit. Even if you do feel like, you know what I mean, you want your situation to be, I don't know, bigger. I don't know what the details are or what, but I wouldn't do that either, because I feel like, yo, that might mess up like your feeling or something.
That's
like,
what I was saying.
Wrong.
That's my biggest fear, yo. And I wouldn't do it anyway, but that would be the main reason right there, is that one incident. They'd be like, we do 20,000 a week. And I'd be that one. And they'd just be like, snip. My bad.
My bad, fam.
You can't even ride to the occasion.
So,
now you gotta take the blue pills early.
Before we close out though, real quick, what you do you think that women do it for themselves, for guys, or what do you think the whole craze is for BBL?
I personally think, and this is me not trying to speak for a woman, but I do think that women, it makes it easier for them to make the decision because of guys. Like, I've heard that women, like, so when they say women get dressed for other women, not for men. So maybe now that I say that, no. Maybe they do it because they want to look better than the next John. Oh, her ass look nice. Well, I want a nice ass. Exactly. I think men just benefit from it.
No, but it goes back to someone else.
Well, yeah. So society says, and I'm gonna just say society says, you gotta have a certain thing. But let's be real. Thickness already came from these parts, so it's like it was already there. Now they're just making them even bigger. Because it made it getting the fake butts. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's other races that wanted bigger butts because they've seen them on other people. So it's like, I don't know. I don't want to go down that road. I'm gonna back to answer your question straight up though. I do think it's a bit of both. I think they do it for themselves and for men. Like I do. I think of a man like maybe if she feels like, yo, I might look hot with a fatter butt and some bigger breasts, and I know that my man will like it. Fuck it, I'm in. I think it'll just make the decision easier.
Hey, that's what it is. Now this is supposed to be a shorter show, so we need to wrap.
No, we're good. We're good. That's it. Like it's about that time. So
the real PJ's gone. We lost him.
So
I scared him away.
We about to wrap this show up. So at the end of the day, do you? It's your body. Love yourself. If you love it, if you like it, we love it. You know what that means in black terms. So
yeah.
We got anything else before anybody else got something to say before we sign off?
Yeah, I do. I just want to give a shout out real quick. I just want to give a shout out to my 12-year-old, man. She just got invited to the showcase in Charlotte at the end of October. So I'm just so proud of her. I know she's watching. She's watching. I love you, baby girl.
No doubt.
That's what's up.
No, that's dope. I thought you was going to give a shout out to somebody else.
Wait, that could have went anywhere. You don't never know what's going to come out of my mouth.
You never know what the hell Eddie about to say. It's like,
never know what's going in there either.
Oh, damn. Oh.
And on that note, anybody else got else to say so we get out
So
of here?
this was nice. Had a great time tonight. This was amazing. Thank you guys for having me.
Make sure y'all follow us on all the socials. Make sure you share
Every
this.
last one of them.
Make sure you let everybody know about us. That we coming.
And leave y'all comments about this BBL thing. Let us know what you think. We need to know.
Yeah, and loved ones, you know, it's about that time of year. Wintertime is coming. Fall is here, but wintertime is coming. Don't neglect your feet. Get them feet done in the wintertime like you did in the summertime. All right, this your boy Bugs.
He's not going to suck your toes if you don't get them done. Now get it together.
This is nasty. I'm done with y'all.